for me, imposter syndrome is sort of a symptom of fear of ridicule, if I'm going to connect it to the four horsemen of fear. But fundamentally, imposter syndrome is the belief that you don't belong in the room, whatever that room is, right? It can be a physical room, it can be a virtual room, whatever, right? I don't belong in this room because the people already in that room, they do deserve to be there. And they will immediately know that I don't belong as soon as I have the audacity to try to even enter it, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I was in grad school, we, for grad school, so I'm a psychologist by training. So in grad school, I was learning to do therapy, right? I'm a clinical psychologist by training. And at one point in grad school, we did this outreach event for the homeless community. And again, this is in rural Appalachia in December. So it's cold as fuck, like freezing, sub-freezing temperatures. And the way it worked was the schools of like psychology, nursing, medicine, like all these different schools came together and we provided services. So like they could get like medical checkups, they could get, a quick prescription if they needed it, clothing, all this other shit. I'm like, okay. So, we come in and I'm like, these motherfuckers are fighting for their lives. They do not need deep breathing techniques to deal with stress. They do not need smoking cessation techniques to help them quit smoking. Like straight up, if the cigarette helps you get through the day, fucking smoke it. And so I went up to two of my supervisors who between them had like 50 years of experience. I was like, hey, when does this feeling like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing go away? And they looked at me, they're like, we'll let you know. Meaning even they were like, I feel like I don't belong here. Right. And like, clearly we provided a lot of help and value and things. But that was the day I stopped having imposter syndrome. Not because like I'm some like cocky fuck who like knows everything, which I'm sure I can come across like that sometimes. I accept that about myself, but it's more so of like nobody fully knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
The only people who claim to fully know what the fuck they're doing are selling you snake oil, period. I've worked with people who are like the celebrity in their niche. And we've talked about imposter syndrome and they're like, oh yeah, I have imposter syndrome every day. I'm like, motherfucker, you're the reason other people have imposter syndrome. Right. And it's like, you give it to other people. And they're like, I have it every single day. Yeah. And just this idea of I don't belong in the room and this thought of who am I to do this? How do you, again, both internally deal with that, but then when it comes up in client work, how do you help them navigate that?
Yeah, man. It's different for everyone, of course, but I think like acceptance is a word that comes up a lot in that work. I'm going through some brand training right now, and part of what they're hitting on is, sorry to inform you, but your brand is often out of your control. Your content's in your control, but your audience determines what your brand is, and it's like, man, that hits so hard. So as I'm going through this training, I'm accepting that. I'm like, that sounds like truth to me. My 16 years of experience says that feels true. My gut says that feels true. I'm going to accept this. And I think that's kind of part of it. I wish I could attribute this to someone, because I don't remember where I heard it, except that it was in a YouTube video. But I was watching a YouTube video about a month ago, and someone was like, people talk about imposter syndrome and they're like, no, you're just on your journey. You belong here, whatever. And generally what I end up telling them is, if you feel like you have imposter syndrome, it's because you do, because you're a fucking imposter, which is essentially, in a more poetic way, what you just said through your superior saying, we'll let you know. I mean, we are. And I accept that. I accept it because I can look at any micro component of what I do in video and relate it to film, and then relate that to a director and relate that to 3 Oscar or 3, whatever awards, and be like, I will never, ever achieve that, So I'm an imposter because I make videos, not films. I could take any component of what I do or help other people do and just say, I do not belong here. So I think acceptance is a big part of it. And oftentimes through that acceptance, giving yourself permission to be great on camera, you end up finding your own voice, your own style, your own niche. And then people look at that and be like, man, I wish I could do that. And you end up being the one, like you said earlier, that gives other people imposter syndrome. And I think the yoke that comes with that is you should be really open and honest and vulnerable about your journey. And that's where I think even good entrepreneurs, I won't name any names, but I know some lovely people with great intentions that do really good work that don't talk enough about how in the hell they got there. And I think that's part of the yoke we bear as anyone who's trying to educate other people, is you should at least spend a small percentage of your time talking about how you got there, the losses, falling down, scraping your knee, wanting to give up, all the things, to remain, human in this whole thing. And I think about acceptance all the time. I think about what's true, what's not, and what can I tell other people that's, I'm going through it too, to let them know this isn't just to make you feel good. You can get there. I got there. It's no. Right now, I'm still continually accepting the fact that I'm a voice in the video field, and I can call myself an expert because I've been doing it long enough and I have enough hours and results, and that's okay. And I can also say, does anyone else feel like they don't know what they're doing? Like, that's okay to say, right? Even though you gave me money and I helped you achieve a thing, like I can still say out loud, like, I don't know what I'm doing, right? And then, people sometimes will, like I said, in learning, branding, about how your audience determines your brand. Sometimes they determine your value and worth. And you don't want to always listen to other people's opinions on you, of course, but I think sometimes entertaining some of them or accepting, again, some of them is good. And I'll just tell a quick little story where this became real for me. I came back out of the forest, my little retreat or whatever it was, and I wrote an email to about 33, 34 people. And it was all people who were either previous clients who became friends over time, other entrepreneurs, people I respected, a couple of like college professors that I just met along the way and kept in contact with. So they were all like acquaintance towards friend, somewhere in there. And essentially I was like, hey, we just lost everything. This isn't a pity party. I just want to let you know where I'm at. And I just want you to kind of like keep your ear to the ground. I don't know what I'm doing next. I don't know what I need yet, but I just want to inform the people that have supported me the most, are closest to me, about what's going on in my life. And don't send work my way. It's not that. It's just pay attention to what I'm doing. And if you see an opportunity to help, I would totally welcome it, because we're starting over here from scratch. And I got 100% reply on that email. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was in a band that toured, and, we'd be 1,000 miles from home playing to 16 people. And it's like, oh, this is tough, So to get 100% reply on the marketing was like, whoa. And it really moved me. And a lot of the people said similar things, which is like, thank you so much for sharing this. Your vulnerability has helped me. Since I've read that, I felt a little bit more like maybe I can make it. A lot of different variations of just thanks for being, vulnerable in front of everyone. And I was like, this is crazy. So I took advantage of that. And I was like, hey, thought experiment for fun. Thank you all for responding. This is incredible. I took the same list and I wrote thought experiment. A reporter comes by from the local news and they're like, hey, that Dan Bennett guy, right? And they put the mic in your face. They're like, yeah, I know Dan pretty well, actually. And then the reporter's like, if you had to say, what superpower he had, what is that? What do you think Dan's superpower is? What's your answer? And I got like 12, 13 responses to that one that were all I got a ton of responses in total, but I got 12 to 13 that were all very much the same. And it blew me away. And it was some variation of your voice, the way you speak, your calm nature. When I worked with you, you made me feel safe while we did this very vulnerable, scary thing. You may view your voice as like monotone and boring, but I viewed it as soothing and like you were leading me in the right direction. All this stuff I had never heard in my life. Now, I didn't grow up hearing your voice grates me, I hate it, quit talking, but I never, ever was aware of any kind of impact that was happening like this. And I accepted that. I didn't understand it, but I accepted it. I think I have a decent speaking voice as a tool, but I never expected this kind of. So I leaned into it, and I've been leaning into it ever since. And then my vulnerability that I kind of package that in so people know that it really comes from an honest place is when you see cool, calm, collected, we've got the tools. I'm going to help you fix the thing. The result's going to be great. I'm here with you. Inside is insanity. I'm falling apart all over the place. It's, like the movie of the girl with all the like emotions in her head, that anxiety one, I am, but the way that it comes out through helping other people does seem cool, calm, collected, and all the things that you find beneficial. So it's a very long answer to acceptance.